Hey everyone, so now once back to our basic plot, that is plt.plot xy. So here our topic is legend. So what the legends are? That's something like if I have this curve, so I have to add something that will represent that what this curve is about. That's known as legend, that you have also done while you are developing the graphs in your school, like their x-axis is equal to that unit, y-axis is equal to that unit. So here you also represented that this blue curve represents something else. So that's something you can do by just adding a label here, and the label will denote like first example. And then if you shift return, then you will not get anything here, because for that we require another method that is known as plt.legend, legend, and then parentheses, shift return, you will get this one, that this blue line representing first example. If you have more than one lines, like if I have another line here like y comma x, sorry I forget this comma here. Now if I have this one, then you will get blue is denoting first example, orange is denoting again first example, because I have used single label. We will learn in the later videos that how you can add different label for different curves, but till now just what the label is. One more thing, that this label is here. Now you can make this label to appear anywhere in the curve, in the graph. That's by something setting here LOC, that will be range equal, that will be equal to like if I have 1, I will get this one here. If I have this one like 2, I have this one here. So you have 10 different options, that is 1 to 10. You can use any. If you want this one on center, use 10, you will get this one on center. If you want this one in bottom, 4, I have this one here on the bottom. You can check any of these, like if I have 8 here, this one will be here. So that's what the legend and how to add them and how to arrange them. So thanks for watching. This is a little video about this topic, and I will see you in the next video. Hey everyone, so in the last video we have learned about plotting the graph using PLT. That's something like plt.plot and x comma y. Now we will learn about a different method of plotting these graphs by using another command. We will create another PLT by using the same PLT command, and then we will draw the plot. And now you are thinking why we need to do that, because in case of this one, the graph is not much more flexible. Like you cannot control the axes, like this x-axis, you cannot control these values. You cannot increase, decrease the size of graph. So also in the pie chart that we have seen in the types of plots, there is a method of fig used there. So here we are going to use that one also. So for that we have a simple syntax. First we will create a virtual PLT, and that will be created by fig. Any variable you can also take x. So let's just go with fig, and then here you will use PLT, because only PLT from Matplotlib can create the plots. So here we are going to use PLT dot and then figure. When you run this one, you will get something like that one. Now this is not like this one from anyway, because here we have just created the PLT command with a different name. Now we will use this fig to create these graphs. And like first we will create a axis graph, that is these axes, and this will be created like first just like PLT dot. We here use fig and then dot, and then here we will use add underscore axis, that is for adding the axes, and then parentheses, and in the parentheses we will pass a list that consists of where to start, where to end, and what is the height and width. So the starting points for x-axis and y-axis be like 0.1 and 0.1. Then we have a height of like 1 and width of 1. Here you can use any value, but generally we consider from 0 to 1. You can also use like 30, 40, but they will be same like 0 to 1. Let me show you that one. Here if you do that, you will get this one. Here we have this plot, and if you change these values, like if I do this one 0.2, you will get this one, same height but narrower. If you use this one 0.2, you will get a very small graph in which we have only 2 points here, 0.5 and then 0.10. If you do this one like 0.9 and this one also 0.9, you will get this one. Now let just give it the value of 1, and also if you do something like 10 here and 10 here, then you will get this one, a bigger graph. So that's why I told you to prefer just 0 to 1. And if you change these values, like first let me run that one. Here we have this one. If you change these values like 0.3 and try to run that, you will get nothing changed, because that's something you will understand in while plotting multiple plots in a plot. That's the next video. But till now we are just creating a simple plot here. Now here we have this thing, and the dimension of this is a little different from this one. You can also achieve these dimension like this, seems to be 0.6 and 0.6. Here we have this one, note that 0.8, 0.8, and there we go, nearly same dimensions. Now to plot this curve here, we will use a command like, here we have this variable as axis, or we can say this plot as axis. So we will just use axis, not there, here, axis dot plot, because now we have moved this fig, that is plt dot plot, into this variable axis. Now this plot is denoting the axis, so here we use axis dot plot, and then we will pass the parameters like xy. Here you will get the same curve that we have. And if you do something like that we have done in the last one, y comma x here, you will again get the same results. Like in this one, here we have y comma x, here we have both the results same. So this is how you can create a variable axis graph by using the object oriented method, and we will learn about more this one in the next videos. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hey everyone, so in the last video we have learned this thing, having the graph in which we can edit the axes by our own just by changing these parameters. Now in this video we will learn that how we can plot multiple graphs in the same figure. That is something like, here we have created one axis, that is we have created a single plot here, and you can also create multiple plots here, like this one I prefer like x1, and then I have another x2. Use the same commands, that is these, just copy this one and paste it here, fig.add axis, and then we have these points. But now let me change these parameters, like this one 0.3, this one also 0.3, so that this will be visible, otherwise this will overlap each other, like this one overlap the previous one. And now first if you run this one, shift return, you will get something like this one. Here we have the previous one, and inside that we have this one, that is the second one, in which we have 0.3 width and 0.3 height. And now you will also understand why these doesn't change in the first one that we have changed here. Like if I just remove this one, command X and shift return this one, and even if I change these, I'm getting the same result. That's because here if I have this one now if I change these in this one, then there's something happen here, that is this one move from origin to this position, because when we set these in the first figure, we are setting the origin, that from where it's beginning, like 0.1, 0.1. Then this one is our origin. And when I change this one in the second one, then the second figure have this origin respect to this one. Like here, if you notice, this one is 0.3 from here and 0.3 from here. The center distance will be like their distance by Pythagoras theorem, like height and base. And if I change this one like 0.4 and 0.2, then again the figure will change its position. It becomes nearer to y-axis and far from x-axis. And if you do something like, if I have this one 0.7 and this one 0.7, and here this one like 0.8 and this one 0.8, and if you make this one, then this will be out of this first plot, because I have made the origin 0.8 and it has only limits up to 0.7. So that is the thing here. By using the object oriented methods, you can make anything with your graph. You can either make that one inside that one at its center, like if I need this one in its center, then I will use just 0.4, 0.4 and convert this one into 0.8. Shift return that one, I have this one on center. Now what about plotting the curves on this one? You can also plot the curves like we have done before. That is, first if I need to plot on x1, then x1 dot plot, and there we have xy. You get this one, but it's overlapped by this one. Then I have x2, and this one will be like x2 dot plot, and this will be like y comma x. You have this one. So that's how you can plot multiple plots, and that's how you can plot the values on that one. One more thing, if this one, command x this one, and save this one before the second one, and if you return that one, the second one will overlap the first one, because the newer we define the axis and it overlaps the previous one. You can also have something like, if I try to do this thing, here we have this one 3 and this one also 3. Plot something like x comma x, and origin will be different, like 0.1 here and 0.4 there. If you shift return that one, you have 3 graphs now, one inside the another. And you can add any number of graphs there, like command C, command V, this one x4, this one 4, this one 5, and this one also 5. Shift return that one, you have these one above the another, because the origin is same in all 3. Let's change the origin, like 0.6 this one and 0.8 this one. You will have a figure like this one. So the thing I want to show you here is, now you have power to do anything with your plots. Before these, by just using the plot command, we cannot make these things. This is not possible with that one only. So that's why we need these, like these things. And by using these, you can create any type of plot, like pie chart and all that. But the data is also required, like what type of data you are using defines what type of graph you can make. So thanks for watching, and I hope you understand this one. This is one is a very easy one and interesting also. So thanks for watching, and we will continue in the next video. Hey everyone. So in the last video we have learned about the plotting multiple plots in the same plot, and while we are doing that one, most of the students are thinking, is this possible to plot subplots also with these commands, like by these things? So that's what's also possible, and we are going to do here. So for producing subplots by using the object oriented method, we again need to define a fig value, and not only fig, we also need to define the axis with that fig here also, so that we will have multiple plots. And then we have similar to like that one plt dot, and instead of this figure we use subplots, that is subplots. Make sure s is also there, and this one is small s, then the parentheses. And now here we have empty parentheses because we did not have any parameter, and but here we require some of the parameters to define. Otherwise it will be same like that one. If you try to run that one, you will have a simple plot same as this figure. If you need multiple plots, then you need to define here number of rows and columns. Like if I need to have 1 row and 2 column, I will have this one. If I need 4 subplots, then I have 4 here. And for this spacing, just provide plt.tight underscore layout and parentheses. You will have this separate. Now this is how you can define multiple subplots. You can have any number of plots. Like if I do 20 here, I will have, let that run, I get the warning. So that's maybe a larger number, and that's not larger because of number of these. So here we get these, that's not like larger. Here it also run that one, but you did not able to see that because it tried to fit all these things only in this portion. It will not expand the, like expanding this cell. It's just decreasing these graphs. So here I have 2 cross 2. Here these are small, and when I have 1, I have a graph of this size. So you can also increase or decrease these things that we are going to learn later. Now what about plotting the values in these graphs? Like when we have simple one, we can easily plot. When we have this one, we have different axes. Now we have nothing, we have just one command, that is this one, and the order of that one. So how we can plot now here? So everything is hidden in this order, that is 2 cross 2. They are defining the index values. Wherever there is an order, there will be an index. So let me have first this one 1 cross 2, and there we go with that one. Now if you need to plot something in this one, you just use, like here we have defined the fig variable as the plt. So first the index for that one, like we have axis here, axis of 0 dot plot. Now we do not require the fig, and then x comma y. You will have this one. If you need to plot on second one, you have this one 1 dot plot, and then we have like yx. You will have that one. So this is how you can plot these things. You can also do something like here in this one. I have both of these commands, and also in that one you can do the same thing. Now this is about plotting the values. But one more thing, if this is something like this 2 cross 2, then you will get an error, and this one, the graphs, and without any tight layout also, because this command will not work in case of 2D matrix. Because the indexing, like if I have something like this one 1 and this one even 4, I will still get output. Because indexing is simple. The row is by default 0, and the column values are from 0, 1, 2 and 3. If I do this one 3, because that one begins from 0, I will have on this 4th plot. But when I have different number of rows instead of columns, I'm getting error. That's because these indexes must be defined in a different way. So this is the first thing you need to focus while developing the subplots. You need to provide here a tuple which contains 2 parameters, that is first the number of row, second the number of column. Like if I need to plot in this one, so this one is 0 first row and first column, so this one is 1 1, and this one is something like if I need to plot on this one, then this is 0 cross 1. Here I have this one, so this one x comma y on 4th one, and on this second one I have y comma x. So this is how you can plot on subplots, and 2D subplots, 1D subplots. Now we are only left with one thing you need to focus on. That is something I have noticed in most of the students. First, let me make this one simple, so there will not be much complication. This one 0 and this one 1. There we go. Here we have the output. Now most of the students, while taking the variables, defined x variable, and then I have this one also, x. Now if I try to run that one, I will get an error, and that is something you will get here, value error. X and y must have same first dimensions but have shapes 2 cross nothing and 20 cross nothing. So what that means? And it's very hard to spot this error, that what the actual error is. Now we did not have any error in the syntaxes. The thing we have made mistake is this one. We have the value x and y, and we have also defined the variable x. That the first x have this value and y have this value. Now when we run this thing, the x value is now a subplot. So x value is changed, and when I try to plot that value, I'm thinking here this one is my array that I have defined by using linspace. But in actual this one is a subplot, and y is that numerical value. So nothing can plot a subplot and a numerical value. That's something unimaginary. So make sure you are not using the same variable here that is used to define the values you have. One more thing. If I change this one now like I, you can use any other variable instead of these two, like x and y. If you do y here, you will also get error. And if you still run that one, you will still have error. Now the thing is, I have changed that one. Then why I'm getting error? Maybe students are thinking that axis is need to define. Like if I use axis here, maybe in that time I will not get error, but still I have error. And why this happened? So again, take a little time and try to find out why I get this one. So I hope you got that. So this is because at present, if you try something like, let me command x this one, value of x, you will get an array of these things, not the actual value that you have. This means that the value of x is now updated. X value is not the same as this one. This is something else. So whenever you try to run that one, you will get the same error. That is the previous one. To avoid that one, you need to run this shell again, in which we have x value defined again. So now x is again this np.linspace. You have to just shift enter on the Windows and shift return on Mac. Now again get to this one, and if you run this one now, you will have output because x value is now updated. So that's something a little complex one, but I hope you understand that one, that how that works. Maybe you will not get any error if you are not using the xy here, and try preferring using either I or the variable that are defined for these, like axis and this fig. So thanks for watching. This is enough about the videos. I will not stretch this one long, and see you in the next video. Hey everyone, so now we have learned all the concepts about developing the plots, and now few simple concepts are left that we will cover one by one now, like the figure size, designing these plots in different ways, all that. So we will begin with the figure size, that how we can change this size. So for that, that we have a figure defined by object oriented method, that is here we have fig, and that will be equal to plt.figure parentheses, and if you shift tab here, you will find different bunch of options like fig size, DPI. They are used to do things like increasing, decreasing its size, making this line fade or not, that is DPI. Now for size, we just use here fig, that is figure, then size, and then equal to, we will pass the parentheses. In parentheses, we will have dimensions like 2 cross 3. That is this one, width into height. And if you run that one, you will not get any output. because here you have just defined fig, and now you need to define any axis, that is axis is equal to, and then fig dot add underscore axis. Make sure this axis has E, not I, so that maybe you get error in which. So here I have, let we have first 0 0 1 and 1. If you still shift return this one, you will get an empty one. But here if you notice, this one is 2 here and 3 here, and if I do this one like 5 and 5, I will have a different one. And if you plot here something like axis dot plot xy, here I have this one. You can increase this size even like 20 20, then this will be very large. Even these values here are not clearly visible. If you zoom this one, you will get here 100. So that's how you can increase or decrease the size of a plot. You can also do same thing with the subplots. That is, if I do but before that, one more thing. If you do this thing like define this one in this line and try to define the other values here, like if I do axis is equal to fig dot add underscore axis, then here we have 0 0 1 and 1. Shift return, you will not get any output. Even if you try to plot that one, here we have x comma y, you will not get any output. So make sure you are using the same line, that is now this one here, and enter, shift return, you will get that one. Reduce that one to like 3 cross 3. Here we have this one. Now let me move with the subplots. So here first I need to define a subplot, that is fig and axis. I will use plt dot subplots. There we have like 1 cross 2, and then here in this one I will use fig size, and that will be like each one 5 cross 5, and instead of 1 cross 2, let me have here 2 cross 1, because the screen is not much wider enough. Here enter, and then define any axis like axis 0 dot plot, then we have here x comma y, and axis 1 dot plot, there we have y comma x. If you return that one, you will have this one with this size. This one is smaller than that one, but if you do something like here 2 cross 5, you will have this one. Now that size depend on the size of sheet required for that one. Like for subplot, it's different from simple plotting, so that's why I have also shown you how you can change the size in subplots. If you need a larger size, do something like that one, and this one also like 10, I will get this one. So make sure while using subplot, this must be large, but in simple you can even use smaller ones. If you need this much longer or with much height, then there we go. So this is about the figure size and how you can change them and edit them. So thanks for watching, and we will continue in the next video.